Aloha friends and neighbors, Rollin Frost here, Kona astrologer, and we're going to do program 1016 for you, cover the last week in May. And the main news you should know about is on the 21st, which is Saturday for you, coming up in a day or two, there's a full moon. And this one is on the planet Mars. What's Mars about? Mars is red. Mars is heat. It's going to get hot for the rest of the month. Well, for a month after this, till the next full moon. There could be fires. There could be fights. There could be temper tantrums, anger. Ask yourself what you're protecting. That's the mantra for Mars. If Mars inside you, you know, his job is the agricultural god. He's supposed to protect the forest and the trees and the garden and the poi ponds. But if he doesn't know what to protect, how to protect, he's confused about the job of protecting, which involves a physical thing, physical work. That's what Mars does. If he's confused, out comes the sword and you got the god of war. And man, look out. You don't want to face Mars when he's got his sword out. So if you're getting impatient or angry, ask yourself what you're protecting. What am I protecting? What am I protecting? What am I protecting? You may have to ask the question a few times. When you get it clear, there'll be physical work to do, and in an instant, the anger's gone. It solves anger instantly as soon as you're clear about what you're protecting. But most of the folks out there won't. So you're in for some heat. Global warming, global hotness coming right up. I got a chart here for you. Other news, let's see, Mercury goes stationary direct Sunday the 22nd. So you got a full moon on Mars on the 21st, and on Sunday, early in the morning, Mercury goes forward, which is good news, because Mercury, you know, has a lot to do with wind. And he usually slows down and stops when he stations, direct or retrograde. So hopefully there won't be a bunch of wind fanning the flames. Okay, you can see right away that we've got what's called a grand cross here. This is, the sun is going to tighten up on this as it goes into Gemini the next couple days. And when it moves up to June 5th, there's a new moon right here. That new moon is at 14 Gemini, squares Jupiter, opposes Saturn, squares Neptune. Confusion, delusion, bad smells. The lawyers and the judges in scandal. Politicians in scandal, confusion. Things aren't going to work very well. You're in for a really nutty month after June 5th, for a month. A grand cross like this. And don't make laws. Time to tear some of them down. So there's a lot of tension here. This is not an easy time, and it's going to get tougher after the June 5th new moon. Let's take a look at it day by day. What we do is we run the moon around here. It goes around once a month, and as it makes contacts with these various bodies, these actors on the stage, it generates the mood of the times. And, you know, just your inner mood and your outer mood. And people kind of dance in time to it all. Thursday night, not so bad. Look at that. Here's a sextile to Pluto. The moon's in Scorpio. Sextiles Jupiter. Truth and wisdom comes out. Trines Neptune. There's inspiration. Hard to communicate. Let's see, the little red line comes in about midnight here. One notch back. These lines are 2 a.m. in the morning, Hawaii time. So this is midnight Hawaii time. There's Mercury giving, can't talk. Well, moon's still in Scorpio on Friday, May 20th. And there's difficulty with Venus on Friday's day. There's no peace, there's no love, no sweets Friday night. Don't go looking for them. No, you be prepared. Early Saturday morning, the full moon hits right on Mars, and so, you know, it's too hot. And Venus, she could be the victim here. Mars gets all testosteroned up. Venus, don't go out. Don't let those guys see you. No. It's like a bunch of raging football players here Saturday morning. So watch yourself. What are you protecting? Saturday morning, May 21st. And whatever difficult you get into, know that they could occupy you for a few weeks. This is a full moon. Kind of goes, the vibes continue till the next full moon. The moon's still in Sagittarius here on Sunday the 22nd, and it goes by Saturn. And ugh, here comes the judge. And he squares Jupiter. He won't listen to lawyers. Squares Neptune. Won't listen to sensitive people. Opposes everybody. This is no fun. Is this a banker? Is this these are guys in ties and black suits, and these are Saturn, the managers and CEOs, and they're getting into a lot of trouble. And things are going to escalate here, and you're not going to be happy with them on Sunday morning when you see what's going on. See that black mark there? That's Saturn. You can kind of get an idea of the timing of it all. Because here's 2 a.m. in the morning, here's 2 a.m. in the morning, here's just before lunch, moon goes by Saturn. We feel old and cold and scared. Well, there's a lot of fires and a lot of anger going on. And here's judgment. So this Saturday and Sunday, they stink. Anger Saturday, judgments, withholds, fear Sunday. Whew. Early Monday morning, finally we get a nice trine to Uranus. Common sense clicks in. There's some science here. We can understand this. Mentality. It helps. Helps a lot Monday morning, you'll see. Maybe good news on TV. Monday about dinner time, the moon shifts into Capricorn. So Tuesday, the 24th, is about Capricorn. Settles down, businesslike, more serious, positively inspirational Tuesday night. Moon sextiles Neptune at dinner time, and then it hits the trine to Jupiter. Truth and wisdom comes out. This is quite nice. There's a sextile to Mercury. Mercury stopped. People are talking about it. Truth and wisdom. And when the moon finally goes by Pluto at 17, which is really early Wednesday morning, about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, Hawaii time. But, you know, this will be Wednesday. On the East Coast, what is this? This is like between breakfast and lunch. Discovery. So Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, discovery, hooray! Wednesday night, about dinner time, Hawaii, on the 25th, the moon squares Uranus. The TV, the radio, the news agencies, they don't report it. What happened to journalism and free press? I don't know. There's a man with a gun over there. Thursday, the moon's in Aquarius. The vibes shift entirely. And it starts with some heroics. Here's a sextile to Mars. The young guys say, come on, we're going to help this. And here's a trine to Venus. The girls say, yeah, let's go. This is romantic, kind of. And there's a nice trine to the sun. We're going to get things done and make a plan. And the young couples are going to help. Friday morning, moon's still in Aquarius. Sextile Saturn. There's a plan. But it squares Mercury. No sooner do you get a plan going around breakfast then just after that, an hour or so, it breaks down. Communication, transportation is a problem. We're not sure what to do about it. But late Friday night, around midnight, here's a sextile to Uranus. Innovation clicks in. Aquarian vibes. Here comes common sense to your aid late Friday night and a sense of brotherhood. Saturday morning, well, the brotherhood continues through breakfast. But here's Mars, here's a square to Mars, and the full moon point was here. So the middle of Saturday, we're back in what are you protecting? Why are you so angry? Why is it so hot? So hot. Hot, hot. Here's Mars. You got a month of the hotness. By the time you get to Saturday night, the moon squares the sun, you can't get nothing done. Look out, you're perspiring. Be careful, because here Sunday morning the moon goes by Neptune. Go to church. Go out and sit by the ocean. You know, hopefully you're not drinking and taking drugs, because that could make for worse problems. There's confusion. There's delusion. Sunday morning the preacher gets caught with his pants down and things are going on, bad smells. So, don't mess with the gasoline. Yeah, there's ignition sources around. So your weekends, they stink. The Saturdays are hot, the Sundays are confused, and everybody's in gridlock. Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. Not easy. Sunday the 29th. Kids will speak up Sunday afternoon and relieve some of that tension, but still, it's difficult. Now this is the 29th. When you get to the new moon here on June 5th, it makes a grand cross. It fills this tension in, and the gridlock, I call it, is a grand cross. Nobody can move because everybody's blocking, squaring, making obstacles to everybody else. I said, yeah, it's not easy. You're in for a month of this. Don't make plans. Jupiter and Saturn are in square. Politicians, liberals, conservatives blocking each other. Priests and doctors and chemical companies and oil companies are going to make it worse. And you're stuck in the middle. Here's your new moon. What do you mean they made a law protecting the oil company? Yep, it's like that for a month. Sorry. Better you know. Yep, I'm back here on May 4th, believe it or not, when the moon hits that Uranus-Pluto square. But I've had revelations from Pluto, and here's a big one. Never before, not ever, has humanity had such a tool. I've been having fun with my charts, leaving the house charts. Yeah, the Sky Mirror app for your iPhone. I'm doing little experiments. I wait until Venus is, 1 degree off the midheaven, and I go take a walk outside. I walk out in the street, and there comes a pretty girl. 4 minutes. I wait 2 degrees, and I go out, and it takes a little longer, and then comes a girl with a flower in her hair. And I've been doing these experiments. I'm measuring how to do this. I started doing Pluto. I want to see how safe, how many degrees below the descendant before you're safe from bikers and smokers and tattoos and policemen. How long do you got to wait after Pluto opposes the rising sign? So I'm testing it. I'm going out and testing it, and never had a tool like this before. Never. I mean, I got me an old iPhone. See, this is like an iPhone 4, but it works fine with the app. And it also has the sky mirrors on it. When you get the app, it has sky mirrors on it. The sky mirror of the time, so you can punch a button on your phone and review the sky mirror. How do you get the app? Well, you got to have an Apple product, an iPhone, an iPod, an iPad, something like that. And then you go to skymirrorastrology.com. Now, if you put /TV on it, you get my website, and there'll be 5 or 6 shows, and there's a little commercial on there too. But if you just use skymirrorastrology.com and leave the /TV off, you'll get the website that will turn you on to this delightful app. See if I can get it on here. Here's the way it looks. Sky Mirror, see? It's a wonderful thing. Next thing you know, you're in business. You got the chart of now down within, a yard or two. Super accurate stuff. Really super accurate. So, I think it's real astrology. I think it's time astrology took a different turn. Seriously, a different turn. And if we don't, we're going to be stuck in, ridiculous natal chart stuff, trying to figure out everybody's personality. I think that's stupid. I think the real art is to know when you leave the house, it's going to make a chart, and you're going to meet people, And when you start things, you know, by golly, you gotta be more smart about it and not start things on ridiculous charts. But I'm measuring it. I tell you, it's wonderful. Hardcore, you know, 1 degree. You can measure the distance it takes me to walk down the street and go through 1 degree, and suddenly, you know, Venus shows up, or this or that happens, and what is this I'm doing? I'm manipulating reality? It would seem so. It's really exciting. Really exciting. It's a way for you to learn astrology without all this personal crap. I mean, who cares what everybody's chart's like? Just live it. But, you know, when do you make that important call? When do you leave the house to go shopping even? That kind of stuff is so easy to do, and you're going to learn a new kind of astrology, a better kind of astrology, and it won't be out of books about dumb personality stuff. Get the app. Here's the way it looks on your iPhone or your iPad. See this line up here? Is the midheaven. That's the public scene. See, Venus is going to slowly move over here now, and you can actually move this. You can put your finger on it and move it over to where Venus is right where you want it, and then note the time so you can figure out when you're going to go. But when Venus is at the midheaven, oh, the dancing girls come out, pretty girls with flowers in their hair. One of my most astounding results was pretty birds and pretty puppies. Anyway, this is only $10. But you got to have an iPhone or an iPad to do it. It doesn't work on Androids. It's your chance to learn real astrology in a simple, fun way. Do it. Another amazing discovery. I found Dr. Sam Asmanagich, and he's an archaeologist who discovered one of the world's largest pyramids, maybe the largest in Bosnia. So you can Google his name, Sam Asmanagich. He has books, all the pyramids in the world. He will enlighten you. Now the one they discovered, the most amazing thing is they found some wood in one of the walls. They had it dated 22,800 before the Common Era. That's where the wood came from. You know what? If you look at precession and the ages of the equinoxes and all that kind of stuff, you know, that was the last age of Aquarius. That's when that pyramid was built. And we're going into the age of Aquarius again. Yeah, I started looking at these different ages, and here was iron, and here's copper. Here's, you know, here 12,000 years ago, age of Leo, golden age. Anyway, that pyramid was built when the equinox, and now it's being rediscovered. When the age of Aquarius last time, 28,000 years ago. And now we're doing it again. Wow. Okay, here's a brief report on my volcano predictions. Pluto. A lot of stuff happened. Remember, it stopped on April 18th. And I said, volcanoes, hooray! And some went off. Oh, there's emergency. A neighbor's got car trouble. Hang on. Okay, around and about the 18th, there was a lot of volcanoes going off. I tried to list some of them, but a kind viewer called me from Honolulu, and that young man knew some astrology, and he congratulated me on all the massive earthquakes in Ecuador. But what happened to the volcanoes? Well, here's the answer. There was a volcano that went off in Ecuador as per prediction. Yeah, it's called Sangay volcano in Ecuador. Popocatépetl went off next to Mexico City. I got some video on that. But, you know, there was an earthquake in Ecuador. Lots of times earthquakes go along with volcanoes. And in the case of Ecuador, here's a rough diagram of the country. We had the Uranus line went up like this, you know, and so earthquakes happened around here. The Pluto line went up like so, and here's where the volcano is, right here. and it went off right on the 18th, just like Popocatépetl did. Let me show you some of the beautiful video of that volcano, the huge one right above Mexico City. Isn't this beautiful? I mean, the thing just went off really strong for an hour the morning of the 18th, 2:58 a.m. This was right on time, right when Pluto stopped. Now you can see this all over Mexico City and from Pueblo also. And there's a place here I'm very interested in because after Bosnia, another huge pyramid was discovered in Cholula. And you can see Popocatépetl from there over the pyramid, which has a church built on it. Anyway, this is, wow, beautiful. Here are 20 seconds of the big explosion. They say it's more black and white at night. Oh boy, spectacular. Boom, there she goes. Popo is talking to us, huh? That poor guy across the street. His car alarm keeps going off. He can't shut it off. Cholula Pyramid is only 1 hour from Teotihuacan, so I'm going to go visit. And doggone if it's not maybe the biggest pyramid in the world. Okay, here's a picture. This is the top of the pyramid. It has a Catholic church on it. And here's Popocatépetl, the big volcano behind it. Now this hill that you see is actually a pyramid. And it's probably the biggest pyramid in the world. A huge complex. However, only one corner of it has been excavated. Mainly because the church objects to uncovering this, so they've had to, do some research to figure out how big it is, and it is huge. It's bigger than the pyramid in Egypt. It rivals the pyramid in Bosnia. It's a huge pyramid, but only one little corner of it has been investigated and rebuilt. Now the story is kind of amazing, because what happened was that Cortez came in, and when he hit the town of Puebla, which is the nearby town, he said it was the most beautiful he'd ever seen. And it had no less than 360 churches, which were really pyramids, temples he called them. So, when he found a pyramid, he immediately trashed it and built a church on it. So they trashed all 360 pyramids in Pueblo and built churches on it. He got about 80 churches done. But this huge pyramid goes back 25,000 years, and it's all covered with trees and vegetations, and they didn't know it was a pyramid. The locals, the natives, didn't either. Nobody knew it was a gigantic pyramid. So what happened is, Cortez said, oh, well, this is the highest place around this big mountain here, and so we're going to build a church on that. So he built his biggest church up on the highest mountain around. Well, he didn't build a church. What he did, he started off, he put a big cross up there, and lo and behold, lightning hit, and the cross got struck and knocked in half and went down. So Cortez built another one. He put another big, huge cross up on the hill, and sure enough, it wasn't too long, then lightning came along, struck that one, and knocked that one down, and so they built a church. And then a thunderstorm came along and trashed the church. Now this church gets trashed regularly. The last time this one was trashed, I think, was 2010 or something. But the clergy keeps rebuilding them. And to me, this is the ultimate, because here's the largest pyramid in the world. They did not know it was a pyramid. They built a church on it. lightning struck it, thunder struck it. They're still going on, and they can't excavate the largest church in the world because of it. But here's Popo right behind. Same shape as the pyramid. Yeah? Wow. There's the shot I was looking for. You know, there's Popo smoking away. You can see the slope on the volcano. It's the same as the slope on the pyramid. And here's the Catholic Church all over Mesoamerica. Anytime they found a pyramid, they trashed it and put a church on it. So, didn't quite work out for them all the time, did it? Here's the pyramid at Teotihuacan, excavated. The one at Cholula is pretty much built by the same people, probably about the same time. Maybe, you know, last age of Aquarius, huh? Woo. In Mexico, they just call it El Popo. The Popocata. Peti is just means mountain. Anyway, gorgeous volcano. Goes up a few thousand feet higher than ours. Of course, we got Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea. Mauna Loa is the largest volcano, the largest pyramid in the world. Pyramids? Volcanoes? What goes on here? Something the ancients knew, and now it's coming to light. It was 28,000 years ago to 35,000 years ago. There were people around that had a science, and we don't understand it at all. Finally, shame. I'm surfing around and I see this thing, how El Grande from Cats killed this porpoise. And I thought, that's a ridiculous thing. I started checking it out. It was Associate Professor Christy West, a very pretty young girl. She's an associate professor in Hawaii Pacific University, a private thing on Bishop Estate with 6,000 foreign students, mostly business. What's she doing? Well, it turns out somebody made her the head of something called the Marine Stranding Program. But, you know, if this is a young gal, she didn't do her homework. There's no way you could say that cat feces caused the death of that. She doesn't know that El Grande is in all the furry animals. 50% of the people, up to 95%, carry it around. You know, every furry animal carries this. It's all over the place. She has no lab. She's masquerading as somebody important. She didn't do her homework, and yet she had the balls to go out there and put this headline out blaming cats for that one dolphin death in 25 years. What's with her anyway? I think she wants publicity. A pretty girl in charge of something, like, oh, they want to stand on the stage, gives them money and fame, whatever it is, she's prepared to sacrifice cats.